There will be wars and rumors of wars. Never before have we seen the build-up across the world of wars and rumors of wars like we do see right now in 2024. Go and have a look. Google it yourself. Don't take my word for it. See how much it's increased around the world. There are so many conflicts and wars going on at the moment, from civil wars to drug wars to chaos with cartels to wars about who's what color and everything going on around the world, that it'll shock you when you start going through the sites and looking and seeing what's actually going along everywhere. People are focusing on the big ones and the important ones that can tip everything off like a tinderbox, but it is actually spread everywhere at this point in time. So these three stories are just the highlights from the big areas that's currently happening. Retired 4-star general warns that the US is on the pathway towards another world war. Shocking. The US is treading on ground not seen since World War II. According to Fox News, senior strategic analyst and retired 4-star general Jack Keane, who warned we are on the pathway to World War III. According to the Commission, the US faces the most serious and most challenging threat since 1945, including the potential for a near-term major war. It also found that China and Russia are major powers seeking to undermine the US, and that the US military lacks both the capabilities and the capacity required to be confident that it can deter and prevail in combat. No one said it'll be easy for Russia and China and even North Korea joining in to take America down. But the problem, like he points out, is they are at the point now where they can't be confident that it can deter or prevail in combat. And at a point where your leadership looks like it looks at the moment, do you really want cackling Kamala or any of the others heading it right now? Biden sleeping at the wheel, eating his ice cream. It is crazy, the situation America is currently facing. Keane pointed out there was a change in the behavior of US adversaries that occurred between the Biden and Trump administrations. What has fundamentally changed from one administration to the other is Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea are now working together, collaborating, coordinating, and truly helping each other, he stressed. And the fact that they perceive the United States as being weak, and they're going to take advantage of it so that they have been incentivized by their perception of us. So he's on point, 100%. I can't disagree with anything he says. And besides even mentioning the Magog war preparation and those nations all coming together and having meetings and prepping for what we all know as believers, biblical believers, is lying right ahead, you can see all this cooperation and collaboration and the fact that they all agree on one thing. They might disagree on minor ideologies and things, but they agree on one thing. They need the destruction of America, specifically, and then maybe as a side the UK and some Western nations, but mainly America. And they hate America, even though they might not openly say this. All of them, some do. I mean, Iran will say it to your face, the great shaitan, Satan, and those kind of things. But yeah, this is the situation, and it is dire at the moment. US sees increasing risk of Russian sabotage of key undersea cables by secretive military unit. The US has detected increased Russian military activity around key undersea cables and believe Russia may now be more likely to carry out potential sabotage operations aimed at disabling a critical piece of the world's communication infrastructure, according to 2 US officials. Russia has put increasing emphasis on building up a dedicated military unit which deploys a formidable fleet of surface ships, submarines, and naval drones, according to the officials. The unit, the General Staff Main Directorate for Deep Sea Research, is known by its Russian acronym GUGI, which sounds really cute, like a fluffy toy you're buying for your daughter. So yeah, I'm not surprised they have GUGI, and GUGI is parking over key cable areas and probably practicing because, you know, Nord Stream, And now suddenly Russia's interested in sabotaging cables and looking at those things. And yes, it would cause chaos. It would throw a lot of monkey wrenches into the works that cause trouble that'll just really not be good for communication and all sorts of things that you need should a large scale conflict break out all at once. It would be clever to, let's attack the undersea cables. Let's take down the internet. Let's take down supply. Let's really hit it where it hurts. No one will notice instantly, and by the time they do, it'll be too late because other things will be happening. So again, we see preparation happening on a large scale worldwide. While the world's been told, focus here, look at Ukraine. Here, you look here, nowhere else. Do not look here, look here. That's when you should be looking at other places and seeing what's actually going on. Russian drones violated the airspace of 2 NATO countries. A drone entered Romanian territory early on Sunday as Moscow struck civilian targets and port infrastructure across the Danube River in Ukraine, according to Romania's Ministry of National Defense. Romania deployed F-16 warplanes to monitor the airspace, and NATO allies were kept informed, the ministry said. Emergency authorities issued text alerts to residents. Preliminary data indicates there may be an impact zone in an uninhabited area near the Romanian village of Periprava, near the Ukrainian border, the ministry said. It added that an investigation is underway. Meanwhile, Latvia's defense minister, Andris Spruts, said a Russian drone fell the day before near the town of Rensburg and had likely strayed into Latvia from neighboring Belarus, the Kremlin's close and dependent ally. So now, obviously, this was bound to happen. It can be purposeful to test response from NATO and how quickly they respond, whether they're going to respond, whether they can get away with saying, oops, it was a mistake, or we lost contact with the drone. Or it could literally be that, oops, it was a mistake, we are busy fighting on the border, something might go over the border. But it is interesting to watch those developments too, because it could very well be like a China-Taiwan situation where you're just testing response times constantly, and then you can start planning accordingly depending on what that response is in those moments. So not going to get less, it's going to get more, and it's going to get more intense as they build towards that final kickoff of World War III on a larger scale and a nuclear exchange. When do I think this will happen? When the restrainer is removed. I honestly think the big oops, boom, button pressing and chaos is going to kick off all at once, as it was in the days of Lot. Lot left as the fire fell. Destruction came at the same moment that he was raptured out of that town and taken away. Same event. And I believe it's going to be very much the same with us. God is going to take us and secret us away for this time of judgment to keep us safe, to rescue us and take us for himself. And at that same moment, everything is released and chaos will reign for an indefinite period of time until somehow a leader steps up and makes sense of everything and brings calm and peace and security to all. God bless. Keep looking up. Shalom.